everybody, welcome to episode 60 of Open Play Podcast. I'm here with some of the usual guest hosts and a special returning guest host. We have Preston, say hey.
Hey.
Mason.
Oh, I don't get instructed to say hey, but I'll just say it anyway. Hey.
And our returning host, Fabian. God, why do I try sometimes? So, let's talk hobby stuff. How's y'all's hobbying been recently? I'm just going to skip over mine because I ain't done anything.
So my hobbying time has been a little slow, mainly because I've been doing other hobbies, but I have been painting up a Lord Discordant for Chaos Space Marines for like about a month now. All I have to really do is do some edge highlights and he'll be done. But other than that, I have a Chaos Lord on Jump Pack that I primed up, and I'm going to get ready to paint him because that new Kill Team leak with the new like Warp Talons and stuff, it looks like he'll be able to lead them, and if they have good rules, I'd rather be ready for that than not, you know?
Dude, if they even let the Jump Pack Lord lead Warp Talons, I might play Chaos Space Marines again for a while. Like, I would actually really like that. Because like, the new Jump Pack Lord is such a baller model, but like Raptors suck.
Yeah. Well, I want Warp Talons also come down points. 125 is kind of ridiculous for them, to be honest.
I just think it's funny that, like, Space Marine Captain with Jump Pack can lead a bunch of stuff. It would be like if the Captain with Jump Pack could only lead GPI, right? Because the Chaos Lord with Jump Pack can only lead Raptors. It's crazy.
Yeah. And, like, what's the Jump Pack character name? Huron? No, that's not Huron.
Harkin, World Ender.
Harkin. Yeah. Harkin, he can only lead Raptors, but, like, lore-wise, he's, like, leading Warp Talons. It's, like, kind of crazy. So I was like, how come nobody can lead Warp Talons?
GW, if you're listening, give Harkin, World Ender Low Knob and an aura ability to buff Jump Pack infantry. Let's just make him hot.
And he's got a good name.
Yeah, let him end the world. Let him kill a big knight on twos.
Yeah. Hark, here the world ends.
All right, anyway, now, moving right along.
Hey, you said a bad joke. I could say a bad joke.
Brilliant. Edit out this episode real quick.
What you been working on, Preston, other than Magic?
Nothing.
Just winning everything is what you're doing? That's your goal?
I like to play things that I find fun.
What's your current Magic deck you're playing?
I'm playing Dimir midrange, which is kind of like how I play AdMech, where it's just a toolbox deck with cards that I found interesting and slotting in a bunch of stuff in the sideboard that I feel like can deal with weird meta threats.
What's the assault level of your deck?
It depends on whether or not I get to play Kaito, because people really hate ninjutsu in Magic, like a lot, like a really lot. So if I don't play the ninjas, if I don't draw them, then the deck is like average, and if I do play the ninjas, people roll their eyes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I know recently you also bought some of the, and we're switching to being a TCG podcast apparently, but you bought the Gundam starter deck, right? One of them?
Yeah, I had a bunch of people tell me that they would play, so I was like, what the heck, I've got store credit, I'm just gonna get one of the starter decks. And I looked through it, and I like sort of know how to play, but I haven't really been, it's just kind of a fun thing. It's not gonna be anything serious. I'm not gonna buy packs or anything like that.
Yet. Give it time. Let it sit. It's a Bandai game. They're gonna make a lot of different packs. There's a new one coming out in September. Come on, just wait for it. Mason, what about you? What you doing?
Well, most of my hobbying has been done on myself in the gym. I've been spending most of my hobby time working out instead, because I'm trying to get in, not in so much in shape, just like trying to lose weight so that I can not feel like such a little turd. But I do have to do some hobbying work in the next week. Our Store League finals are next weekend, and for some reason, when I made my Infractor squads, I gave my squad leader a power sword, and against knights, when I'm fishing for lethals anyway, and I'm always wounded on 6s, I just want the 2 extra attacks that the whip provides. So I gotta build 3 new obsessionists with a whip.
You know, I realized that the league, the top 8 league, now that you're talking about it, is actually on the same weekend as the Iron Claws RTT, so I have to pick between one or the other.
Wait, it's next weekend?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so I have to pick and choose. I'm leaning towards the top 8 more because of the potential for like prize support is like a lot better from what I understand for the league.
Plus, you're gonna see me.
I don't know if I want to see you though.
Oh, okay.
But you know who I do want to see? I want to see John.
Dude, who doesn't?
Dude, when he posted those beard pics, nobody who's listening is going to know what we're talking about. When he posted those beard pics like a week ago, I was like, God damn, John. He mogged everybody.
Dude, shout out to John's beard, everybody. Let's go. All right, but what brings us here today is a little game called Warhammer 40k. You ever heard of it?
No. What is it?
It's a game where some of your characters have beards and others don't, but you're always trying to use your guys to kill other people.
Are you the beard in this game, or is that different?
I'm not the beard. I don't like facial hair. It makes my face itch.
Yeah, in this game, you're either the beard or you're the razor.
Yeah, I'm always the razor, baby.
God, we just went off the rails. So yeah, let's talk Black Templars, because I think that's why we're actually here today. Not much in the way of releases. We'll be talking Votan likely next episode with another guest host. But this time, let's talk about our bowl cut brothers, the Black Templar here.
Dude, who needs a beard when you have that sick tonsor haircut? It's like so perfectly styled, it looks like a hat.
It is still the worst cover of the edition, I think. I do not like this cover at all.
If it didn't have the guy front and center with this doofy ass haircut, it would be fine. But like this guy's like so like it's like a super zoomed in picture of like Captain Bowl Cut.
Well, it's not even just him. I said this last time we talked about this too, but it's Bowl Cut dude, and then it's the guy with the wedding veil on his helmet.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, come on. I mean, I appreciate the tabard and power armor aesthetic. I like that.
Maybe like a fair maiden was so like aroused on it that she threw like her gown at him and it just got stuck on his helmet.
Something. It's just bad. They should put the guy on the right hand side, front and center. Dude with a shovel. Come on. I'm not sure why he's got a shovel, but he's got a shovel.
I think that's Crozius, but. The shovel.
It does look like a shovel though, because you can't see much detail on it.
Yeah, I know what it's supposed to be, but I'm calling it a shovel.
Yeah,
the
it
shovel
does
Marines.
look like a I'm looking at it right now. It does actually look like a shovel.
When they recruit new Space Marine cadets from the Death Corps of Krieg, they just gotta have power shovels.
Yes, that's what you get when you get AI art, probably. Anyway.
Let's hope not. That's not.
So, general consensus, just high-level overview. What do you think of the loss of the moments and them getting their, what are they, vows?
I think it's very odd that they waited until the end to do this. Like, we have Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, no Death Watch, Black Templars. So we've had 5 Codex supplement at this point, and this is the first time that they decided to do a different rule for them.
The year in the edition left?
Yeah. I feel like they should have started with this. Maybe this is a bridge into 11th edition where they're just going to give the rest of the supplements their own rule and they're still working out the kinks. Maybe this was an idea that they just had like a year into the edition and realized, fuck, we can't go back now. I don't know. I just think it's odd that Black Templars are special and not any of the other Codex supplements.
Hey, they're on a eternal crusade. They get to break all the rules.
They're also the only non-first founding chapter that has a supplement.
Yes.
Coincidence? I don't know.
But doesn't Space Wolves like kind of have its own restriction? Like if you play any Space Wolf stuff, like with that came out with the Codex, like they still have Oath, but isn't like if you take Space Wolf units, like you can't take like if you take Space Wolf Terminators, you can't take regular Terminators or something like that. I thought there was like some kind of restriction.
Yeah, but like that's not a real restriction. Not having Oath is like an actual restriction.
That's fair.
Not being able to take regular Terminators is like, well, I wasn't going to do that anyway, so.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the actual vows that you get to choose from, though?
I would have liked it a lot more if they kept the original vows, because I thought the original vows were like really, really good in because it was the detachment rule for what was it, Righteous Crusaders, and they were all really good. It was like sustain hits whenever you charge, lethal hits whenever you charge, 6 up Feel No Pain, and then at the time because like Romaldus gave a 5 up Feel No Pain to his unit, and then 10 Hazard's Bones like also gave like Feel No Pain and stuff like that. That was like really good, and then you had oaths with it. So I thought like if you just took oaths away and let them have like that table of what we're saying vows, then I would have been really happy with that, because now the only thing about the vows is like super niche, and the only one you're really ever taking is the +1 a wound if the strength of the weapon is less than the toughness or equal to. So basically, you win the entire games on 3s or 5s.
So let's do a little deep dive into the vows themselves here. So the first vow listed is Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch. So reroll charges against psycho units and melee weapons have precision against psycho units. You know, that's very niche, like you said.
Yeah, this is like the most specific one. The thing is, I don't even think you take this if you're playing Grey Knights, Eldar, or Thousand Suns. I still don't think you take this one.
Yeah.
I think this one's pretty bad.
If you don't want to against the psychic heavy armies, like why does this even exist? Like if this gave you a 4 Feel No Painting and psychic attacks, that in addition to the other stuff, I think that it's worth considering against like Thousand Suns. Like getting a 4 up Feel No Pain all the time against all their psychic attacks and Doom Bolt and stuff like that is
that
pretty
would be
hot.
so miserable to play though.
If I remember, like the old vow against Psychers was like all melee weapons had like anti-psyker 4-up. So if you charge Magnus, you did +1 damage, and you just wound him on 4s across the board with all melee weapons.
That is pretty
10
good.
Sword Brethren going into him, which is anti 4-up. You know, you had O, so rerolling hits, and then dev wounds on like some of the weapons. So it was better.
There's probably some happy medium between like super busted and whatever this is, because this is just a nothing burger for sure.
100%, I agree.
So let's talk about the one that's not a nothing burger, the one that most people are probably going to run, like you said. Accept any challenge, no matter the odds. If the strength of your melee attacks are equal to or lesser than the opponent's toughness, your attacks gain +1 to wound.
Yeah, that's just really good. +1 a wound in any capacity is just really good in the game. At least for me, I think +1 a wound or reroll wounds is just always really good. So I like it.
Especially when a lot of the Marine melee is lacking already. Like, there's a lot of strength 5 in there and 4.
Yeah, the only thing I think that they have, if we don't consider characters, is like a power fist, which is strength 8, and you only ever really get that like on a sergeant.
Yeah, that's what it's only like 3 or 4 attacks too. So like, yeah, you're probably gonna drop 1, especially without oath. You're gonna drop 1, and then so if you're gonna wound 3 at most anyway against a T4 target. It's not spectacular.
And in the current Knights meta, this seems like the best choice.
Yep.
Just drag them down with a bunch of AP1 attacks.
Next up is Suffer Not the Unclean to Live. Units can fall back and charge, and their consolidation and pile of moves don't have to be towards the closest model, just towards the closest unit.
I think this one is pretty good too, but it's nowhere near as good as +1 a wound. As somebody who's played CSM with Chosen and then Emperor's Children, being able to declare a charge when you fall back is always really good, because you always have like wiggle room for if you get tagged when you didn't expect it, or if for some reason like when a turn happens, you kind of realize you need this unit to be able to do something. So if it can fall back and charge, like that's pretty nice. It gives you flexibility. But I just think +1 wound is better. Just being able to hit as hard as you can is just really good.
Yeah, it would have maybe thought about it a little more if they gave you a 6-inch pile and consolidate instead of just the weird like pile and consolidate towards the closest unit instead of the closest model. That rule is just so bizarre to anybody playing the game, I think. Yeah, I mean, fallback and charge is nice. It would have been nice to see 6-inch as well, but +1 to wounds, it's what gets you the job done.
Yeah, I think if they change accept any challenge no matter the odds so that you don't get the plus if you're equal. Maybe you take this in like the Marine mirror, the Marine melee mirror, like if you're playing Blood Angels or Emperor's Children, a lot of World Eater builds or something like that, where like a lot of your opponent's going to be T4, then you could want this just so you can fall back and charge. But getting it when you're like, because you're matching, you're probably not going to want to ever take this.
Yeah, the other thing I could have seen, I'm just a sucker for advance and charge. If they said advance, shoot and charge, fall back, shoot and charge, I just would have been like, yep, this is really good. I'd take this or the +1 a wound, especially when this army doesn't really have any access besides a character and Gladius. They don't really have access to like full army wide like advance, shoot and charge, fallback, shoot and charge.
And last up is Uphold the Honor of the Emperor. All units gain sticky objectives and can perform actions after advancing. Pretty situational, but I mean, I see that as a secondary pick to accept in certain circumstances.
I think if you could ever take 120 Crusaders again, this would be a pretty good vow to take.
I hope Black that Templar never gets good.
Yeah, I don't want that to be the case, but that's the only real situation where I see this being used over the other ones, just because like you're pretty much playing Black Templar to do damage in melee. You're not there to sticky objectives and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want 20 Crusaders to get, especially with the new rule they get. Like they basically just have Blood Surge. It's just I would not want that to be good.
So another thing the supplement does is it locks you out of some of the Codex versions of the vehicles, doesn't it?
All of them. If you have a Black Templar equivalent, you have to pay the extra 10 points to get your multi-multa, which is annoying sometimes. Oh, also, you cannot take First Company Task Force. Don't even try it.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, that's what I was cooking up.
I know.
First Company Task Force without Oath of the Moment? Yeah, do it.
Which, I mean, kudos to them for realizing that interaction wouldn't work. But, like, it's like no one was really clamoring to take First Company Task Force anyway, so...
Someone was.
Okay. Someone was wrong and was doing it, but...
Oh, man, based on what you can't take, it seems like the Black Templar Land Raider Redeemer doesn't exist anymore. So no multi-melter on my Redeemer.
It already has a multi-melt. What do you need, 2?
The regular one does?
Yeah, it has 1.
Stop being greedy and try to want 2 multi-meltas.
Hey, more meltas the better.
So let's go into detachments. Which one's first here in your book?
Companion Companions of Vehemence. It basically does like what every other chapter does that isn't regular like codex compliant. It says your army includes Black Templar units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes units from other chapters. And then it goes on to say the detachment rule, Righteous Fervor. You can reroll advance and charge rolls made for Adeptus Astartes units from your army. I think that's a decent rule. It's nothing crazy. I don't think it's better than like what Gladius gives or like Stormlance, where you have full wide advance and charge and fall back and charge. I think that's also a little bit better than this. But I mean, rerolling advance rolls and charge rolls isn't too bad. You probably would use it more than you expected.
It also is another reason not to take that Psyker vow, because that Psyker vow is also reroll charges.
Yeah, I could see it being really good because like with that new character they got, their chaplain, who gives their unit advance and charge. So you roll an advance, and then you're like, oh, I don't like this, and then you just roll it again. Or like if you run the Emperor's Champion by himself, he moves 10 inches base. So if he gets out of a transport, he's moving 13 inches, and if you roll a 1, and you're like, nah, I don't want that, you can roll, and essentially he goes from 13, and like say you roll a 6, what is that, 19 inches before he charges. Like, that's kind of good.
That's a lot of board space.
Fabian, I thought you stopped playing World Eaters.
I did stop playing World Eaters.
It's because every other army got the fun World Eaters rule and they lost it.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. The first enhancement, Incendiary Animus. Chaplain or Judiciary model only. Improve armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit by 1. That is not bad. Plus 1 AP is always good. Especially like with Sword Brethren, all their stuff is AP2. If I remember correctly, the Thunderhammer is AP2. The Power Swords, because now instead of just Power Swords, they all have Master Crafted Power Swords. So they're Strength 5 AP2, 2 damage with lethal hits. So going to AP3 is pretty good.
Oh, they don't have the special weapons anymore?
They made all their Power Swords, because all their Power Swords used to be like a chosen accursed weapon, Strength 5, AP2, 1 damage. Now they all get Master Crafted Power Swords. So Strength 5, AP2, 2 damage.
But you still get the Thunderhammer and the Lightning Claw.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I thought you... Okay, I'm with you now.
But when we get to Datasheets later, there's an argument that you don't take either of those. You just stay with the Power Swords.
Spoilers. Okay.
But yeah, plus 1 AP is really good. And then you can stack it furthermore with not in this attachment. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to say you could put it in Gladius.
We will be saying that a lot during this discussion, I think.
Yeah. So that's that enhancement. I don't know if anybody else has anything to like chime in on that, but I just think plus 1 AP is good. Nothing really further to say on that.
Plus 1 AP is always solid. I mean,
yeah.
Having 40 chainsword attacks at AP2 is not, when you're having plus 1 to wound, is not bad at all.
Yeah. I think the Sword Brethren chainswords get 6 attacks each with sustain 1, if I remember correctly. So that actually, now that you say that, AP2 chainswords with sustain hits on 6 attacks each. Yeah, that's actually not too bad.
And they go a little crazy.
Yeah. Next one, Oathbound Exemplar. Adeptus Astartes infantry model only. Add 1 to the advance rolls made for the bearer's unit. If the mission pack you are playing features actions, the bearer's unit is eligible to start to perform an action in a turn in which in advance. That's not too bad. I guess it depends on the points. I don't really have the...
It's 15 points.
15 points? That's not too bad. Like, if I had leftover points for that enhancement, I'd probably take it. Because add 1 to advance rolls with a rule where you can reroll advances. So... at minimum, you move 2 for that unit on an advance. But if you wanted to get, try and get something a little higher, it's always worth rolling, because if you roll another 1, you're moving 2 still. So it's like, why not try and get more, right?
Also, if you put this on a guy who's leading a unit of intercessors, you completely give yourself a copy of the vow. Because now you can advance and do actions, and you have sticky objectives.
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of nice.
Secret tech right there.
Yeah.
You do have to pay for a character for your intercessors, which is not something you typically want to do, however. So your mileage may vary.
Again, I just think it's a one that if I have the points left over, I'll take it. But
yeah,
nothing crazy. I think plus 1 AP on all melee weapons is just much better.
I think it's a little neat if you wanted to put that on a combi lieutenant.
Yeah, because he's already out there in the middle of the open. Sometimes you just need I need to really get into my opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah, or something. But yeah, 15 points is not the price that I really like for that.
Yeah, it feels like a 10.
All right, so next one, Merciless Denunciation. Chaplain or Judiciary model only. Each time a model in this bearer's unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit. Rerolls is always good. Rerolls hit or reroll wound. wounds. I like it. It always helps with like that if you roll, especially like if you have sustained or lethal hits on a unit, that just helps. So if you want to fish for it or like to possibly spike like your damage, that's just always really good. Or if you happen to spike low like on your roll, then you got rerolls to hopefully give you a little bit of cushion to make up for the flub roll.
And don't most of your chainswords have sustained hits built in now?
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty good. Yeah, I mean, rerolling hits, there's nothing to be upset about that.
Yeah, not bad for 25 points. Could be a little bit cheaper, maybe.
Yeah, 20 points probably be a really good spot. But
25 points for full rerolls in melee is already pretty good.
Yeah. I was gonna say like it's not terrible, but obviously if it was cheaper, I'd be happier. Obviously,
Is the execrator, whatever the hell however the hell you say it, is that the advance and charge guy?
Yep.
Yeah, so you put it on him, and you have a unit that can advance and charge, and then rerolls hits.
That's fair. In CSM, like in Renegade Raiders, to get reroll hits and wounds, I have to be. It's not a big condition, but it's still conditional. You know, I have to be within my opponent's deployment zone. Whereas like this, you just have to put it on a certain model, and you get reroll hits for 25 points. And you know, for these characters that don't offer any like +1 wound or reroll hits, that's really good. So I like it. I don't mind it. And then the next one, Zealous Vanguard, Adeptus Astartes model only. Models in the Barris unit have the Scout 6 ability. That's all right. I always thought Scout 6 was really good. But you know, I play Renegade Raiders, and there's a Scout 6 enhancement in there, and I used it like maybe once, like in the beginning of the Codex when I was like, CSM has been wanting Scout. We have no access to Scout. Oh, cool. We have this enhancement. And I used it once and then was like, this isn't worth. So I don't see anything that would really appreciate the Scout.
Throwing it on a unit and putting him in an impulsor is cute because then now your impulsor is 6 inches closer to shoot him with a Melta. But yeah, I don't. For 20 points, it seems okay.
Yeah. I guess like Scout is good, but if I'm having to pay like a points tax to get Scout when it's not really like super crazy on anything, like it's not worth it. Like if it was like 10 points or something, then maybe I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll do this on my list. 10 points to give Sword Brethren Scout, let's do it. But 20 plus points is just to me. It's not as crazy as you think it is.
Right.
I can say overall, the one thing I'm not liking is that half the enhancements are tied to certain characters and characters that you really don't want. A Judiciar is cool. Like he has fights first and precision and dev wound, so he's not terrible, but like I'm not really looking to take a chaplain when I'm most likely gonna pick the Vow that's gonna give me +1 a wound against almost a lot of things in the game. And a Judiciar is you can only take 3 of them, but they're not crazy that I would spam a shit ton. Like spanning 3 Judiciars for like fights first is just kind of redundant. I just take 1, maybe 2. So I don't know. I'm not liking how it's kind of locked between 2 models when other models would really love these enhancements. Like the reroll hits one, Emperor's Champion would love that on his unit. Or,
yeah, for sure.
Or just a captain, like a regular captain, or a marshal would just love a reroll hits.
Actually, that brings to the point. Can the Emperor's Champion take any of these enhancements? Are they all locked? Chaplain or Justiciar?
No, so 2 of them are Chaplain Judiciar, 2 of them are Adeptus Astartes. One is Adeptus Astartes model only, and one is Adeptus Astartes infantry model.
Okay, so he can Scout 6, or he can add 1 to his advanced rolls.
Yep,
and do actions.
Yeah, that's what your Emperor's Champion to do is actions. So you might put Scout on him if you're taking this, and that's really the only one.
Yeah, so far not terrible, but you know, not overly impressed. Next is stratagems. All right, so Devout Push. Cool name. Fight phase. One Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in this unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 instead of up to 3. And then it says there's a restriction where a unit cannot be targeted with this and the Heart's Hardened to Duty stratagem in the same phase unless it has a Chaplain or Judiciar. So we're already starting to see a pattern.
Yeah, it wants you to take Chaplains and Judiciars for sure.
Yeah, so not bad. I mean, I never really played with armies that have a pile or consolidation 6 instead of 3. I haven't played New World Eaters. CSM doesn't really have access to it. When I did my little time with Death Guard, that the index didn't have that, and Blood Angels don't have that. So I don't know how good that is. If anybody wants to chime in on that.
I mean, if you're running like big units of like 20 dudes or even sometimes 10 mans, it's nice because like, you know, you're not gonna lose out guys that can't attack and stuff like that. Is it like game breaking? Like it's not something you're gonna pay a CP. I think think it's a rule that's really, really good if you get it for free. Like if it was built into the army rule, or like World Eaters gets it through their they get it through their blessings. It's really good. I think it's situational to spend it as a strat, just because like now you're paying a resource for it.
Yeah, I just in all my games, pile consolidated 6 has never been anything like crazy. Like most times it's like, oh dang, I forgot you had pile consolidate 6, so my one thing, my Vindicator got tagged. Oh well, it doesn't matter. He can shoot his blast weapon in combat, right. So I'm not too worried about it. So I've never been impressed with it. It seems good, but it's just in my experience it hasn't done anything crazy. Okay, so the next strat is Hearts Hardened to Duty. Fight phase just before an Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army consolidates. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a consolidation move, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model or the closest enemy unit if the Suffer Not the Unclean to Live vow is active for it.
Which one is Suffer Not the Unclean to Live? I don't remember.
That's the one with fallback.
The fallback.
And the weird pile and consolidate.
Yeah.
Because that it's like Preston said, that weird pile and consolidate rule just... Does that do anything?
I'm sure that there are cases where this will come up. I think that whether or not you actually see it happening, I don't know. I think that like if your opponent is really, really savvy and they're saying, oh, if you want to consolidate your guys to fight, you have to consolidate off of the point and this lets you get around that. It's super situational. It's like, to me, it feels like a crazy situational thing. I feel as though they could just make these last two strats a single strat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they didn't need to be separate at all.
I guess the only thing is, if I'm reading this right, I could spend a CP when I go to consolidate and be like, I don't need to touch your unit. I can just go back behind the wall on a point, or no?
You still have to be closer to their unit, though. You just don't have to be closest to the nearest model.
Oh, yeah. Then this strat just seems pointless.
It seems like it could have been a continuation of the push where, if you have a chaplain justiciar, you can also do X,
Yeah, I don't think that this is definitely not a game-breaking stratagem. It's a little weird, a little clumsy. Interesting take on some things, and it's nice to be able to get around that. But I think that it's hard enough to force your opponent to consolidate where you want them to go, unless you're Preston playing AdMech, to make this useful.
I don't know, I just think I'd rather have something like Armor Contempt or like Opportunistic Raiders where I can like fight something and then make a regular move or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, right? Also, I feel as though like if you're already in melee, like you'd rather just be able to kill them.
Yeah.
So any stratagem that increases damage would be preferable by this.
Yeah. Also, if you're in a matchup where you can try and just touch something because it doesn't have access to like fallback, shoot and charge, or like basically it can't do anything. If you tag it, that unit is just basically not useful for your opponent on its next turn. I just rather do that. So this strat I just can never see this strat being used.
Probably not. It's probably one that you will use. Like if you go to a GT, you might use it one game. Probably not. You're probably just going to save your CP for anything else.
All right, let's see if the next strat is more useful. For the Emperor's Honor in the fight phase, one Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Till the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models in your unit have the precision ability.
Technically?
I laugh, but the Epic Challenge stratagem, only the character gets it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one in Renegade Raiders where it's the same thing for your unit, and it has been handy a handful of times. Mainly when I go against Necrons and I have to like precision out like the Technomancer, because then he has like the little bot things that give him like the 4-up invuln. I forget what those models are called. Or not the 4-up invuln, 4-up Feel No Pain. And sometimes like he'll just spike on that, and I'm like, well, my Chaos Lord didn't kill him, so I guess I'll put my chain swords into him and, he'll die.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to be able to say, I want this character to die first. Like, I don't care if the unit is alive as long as the character's dead.
Yeah, so it's niche. It's super niche. I think it's more applicable than the last strat. But again, Epic Challenge exists, and I feel like it's really niche that you also just run into a character where it's like, my Chaos Lord with wound rerolls on an objective, +1 AP and devastating wounds will probably not kill this character. Like, I feel like it's not super often that happens. So I feel like Epic Challenge will just be better like 8 out of 10 times.
I do like obviously I've been playing Emperor's Children. I like the fact that infractors are all precision. Like, I use that a lot of times. Would I pay for it? Probably not, but like I might sometimes. But getting it all the time for free is super cool. I like that. And also it's nice that they learned from the Vanguard Task Force in Space Marines, which have the same strat, but it's 2 CP.
So it's 1 now.
Yeah, you never would use it at 2 CP. Like, it's terrible at 2 CP. At 1 CP, it's like, yeah, I might really need to kill this one character, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, no, so actually, now that I think about it too, it doesn't say anything about having to be led by a character to give your unit precision. The unit just gets it. So I guess if you wanted to run like a naked squad of 5 assault intercessors at something,
yeah,
75-point unit, you spend 1 CP, give precision, and it just kills a character out of a unit. Like, I'd rather do that than throw like a captain or Emperor's Champion with 5 sword brethren at something just to precision out the character and probably not kill the unit.
5 Reavers. Oh, they already have precision. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Bad example, but but yeah, like, I mean, you're you're playing against Thousand Suns, and their sorcerer took mortal wounds or something because they cast one of their powers. You're like, all right, well, I'm gonna run these 5 scouts into you and try to precision out that idiot. You have those options.
Yeah, not too bad, but again, I feel like Epic Challenge will still, like, you just do it probably more, like 8 out of 10 times over this.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I look for when I look for a strong strat in a book. It's like, yeah, that's nice to have.
Next strat, Pious Enmity. Fight phase, 1 chaplain or justiciar unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. To the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes a melee attack that targets an enemy unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target is a monster or vehicle unit, reroll a wound roll of 1 as well. Reroll 1's to hit and wound isn't too bad. Especially Mason can attest to, as playing, Emperor's Children, they don't really have any rerolls like built in. Besides reroll wounds on infractors and Lucius having 4 rerolls against certain keywords, there's not a lot of rerolls. So reroll 1's to hit and wound is pretty nice.
It doesn't feel like it's going to be that much of a buff, but it really is.
Yeah, especially when, spoilers, Sword Brethren hit on 2s now with everything besides the Thunder Hammers. Reroll 1's to hit is just good. Especially when this detachment wants you to take chaplains and justiciars, and this one says you have to take a chaplain or justiciar. Wait, that's my only gripe with this strat and this detachment, honestly, in general right now, is just, it's like chaplain or justiciar. It's like, you gotta wear a certain hat to use this strat.
Yeah, I would. Hey, nice rhyme. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, they could take away the chaplain or justiciar rule, and this would be a good strat. It wouldn't even be an overpowered strat without that stipulation. It would just be a good strat, like reroll 1s or reroll 1's to wound and reroll 1's to wound against like big stuff. But no, they just decided to add the extra rigmarole you have to go through. You have to use their special boys.
So I like the strat. It's good. So next one, Heresy begets Retribution. Your opponent's movement phase just after enemy unit ends a normal move, advance, or fallback move. 1 chaplain or justiciar unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit and is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Your unit can make a retribution move. It's just a reactive move on a D6. So it's a D6 reactive move. Reactive moves are good, but this only being D6. And again, locked to chaplain and justiciar unit is really whack.
Well, it's a surge move, not a reactive move, right? You have to move towards them.
Oh yeah, move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit.
There's no plus to it either.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't like this strat at all.
It does one thing. It stops people from contesting your objectives for free. They can't just put 5 guys on it and contest your OC.
Yes, that is true.
Doesn't do nothing.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's bad.
It's definitely not bad, but it's not. It'd be nice if you could, and you can end an engagement range with them, which is good.
It would be nice if it was any unit could use it, or we could say any infantry could use this, but chaplain and justiciar is flat 6. I think that would be a good change.
Preston with the rule creation over there. Like, yeah, I think that would be a good suite of rules at that point.
You should go apply for a GW to write the rules.
No, they only want people who don't know what they're talking about.
Alright, next strat. Dread Crusaders. Your opponent's charge phase just after enemy unit declares a charge. One of that this is Astartes infantry unit from your army that was selected as one of the targets of that charge. The enemy unit must take a battle shock test. Subtract 1 from the result. Excuse me. I think this strat is really only good if you know that they need a buff. Like, they need to spend a CP to be able for their unit to do something. Like, if 10 incubi with an Archon, charge a unit, and then you spend the strat, make them fail the battle shock, then they can't get back in the transport. That's like pretty good, because then you can just kill the incubi next turn, not have to worry about them like getting in and out again. So it's niche. It's not terrible, but I don't see you like really spamming this or anything like that.
Yeah, against most enemies, it's still turning into a coin flip, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, like, there are, like, what melee army is there that is leadership 7 base? Oh, orcs.
Orcs? Yeah, I was gonna say, I think orcs is the only one, if we're talking just melee based, but, like, I think, like, knights are, 7 up across, right?
Okay, yeah, this can be used. It's a little weird to, like, think that these, like, Marines are staring down a knight and making them battle shocked, though.
Yeah. It's alright. It's not bad. Again, it's like, if I have the CP and I'm willing to spend it, because it could change a game, like, whether it's like I get to prevent this key unit from doing some shenanigans after it kills me, or prevent this unit from, like, punching up into, like, a tough target, like, I just, I spend the CP, try and coin flip that their plan doesn't work out. And if it works, it's really good. If not, it doesn't work, and you're sad.
I would like this if you could also use it in your charge phase, because then you might be able to turn off someone's interrupt, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Also, I feel as though that makes more sense with the name also. I mean, if you're crusading, you think that you're the one that's charging, not...
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, I think that these strats are just a little bit too specific, and I think that you're not getting any real general power out of them. Also, there's no armor contempt.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I'd rather the hearts hardened to duty. I just get rid of that to give me armor contempt, honestly. But they did it with the Space Wolf Codex, so I guess they're trying to get away from a chapter, all the specific chapters from getting it, because I think they're trying to make, like, regular Codex Space Marines, like, a little more appeasing by letting them have armor contempt, and then, like, everything else doesn't. That's what I think. I could be 100% wrong, but that's just what it seems like, because Space Wolves don't have it in any of their Codex attachments, and neither do Black Templars.
Just pulling a pivot at in the last year that the edition exists, I guess. Why not?
Yeah.
That's when you do it.
But that concludes companions. Do we want to talk about Vindication Task Force, or do we want to talk about Godhammer?
And 1 second. So while you're going over that, I have the Goonhammer article up, and I'm kind of following along with that. They give sample lists for the detachments, and, just quick list, and I'm just looking at the one they listed, which is Grimaldus, 3 Excrators, 1 with the Zealous Vanguard, 1 with Incendiary Animus, a Justiciar, 10 Sword Brethren, 10 Sword Brethren, 10 Sword Brethren, 20 Crusaders, and 6 Blade Guard Veterans. It's a lot of bodies.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think out of the 3 detachments, I could see an argument for Godhammer, but I would think Companions is pretty good. Probably, like, the better one. Probably the best one out of the 3.
Not a vehicle in that list, though. It's pretty funny.
No, it's just all bodies. But it lets you make use of, all the rules this detachment has. And if you want to, like it says in the article, just run forward and smash things, this is a list for that.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. I just rather run Gladius than any of these. So it's hard for me to look at that list and just be like, yeah, I'd run this. I'm just like, I could just run Gladius.
I'm shocked. I'm completely shocked.
Gladius is such a good detachment. Like, it's hard to argue against it in general.
Let's look at Space Marines and see how many people are in Gladius. Only 123 players. I mean, come on.
Oh my god, 123 players?
That's only like 80% of the Space Marine field right there.
Yeah, Vanguard's 23, Ironstorm 23, Firestorm 36, Gladius 123, Stormlance 13, First Company 1 Chad, and 3 people playing the Librarius Conclave, and then 4 people play Anvil Siege Force.
The 4 people playing Anvil Siege Force.
Giga Chad.
I mean, yeah, like, your army rule exists if you stand still, and you, like, never want to stand still in a normal 40k.
If I remember correctly, though, Anvil Siege Force has won 2 events for. Just putting it out there. So it is a winnable detachment.
So you're saying is Anvil Siege Force is the new meta?
There's a chance.
Black Templar, Anvil Siege Force, go. Make the list, Fabian. Let's see what you got.
All right, let's talk about Vindication Task Force.
So Vindication Task Force. Each time an attack targets an ancient unit from your army, if that unit is within range of 1 or more objective markers and the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Alright, so you need to be on an objective, and the strength of the weapon needs to be higher than the toughness, and you need an ancient in the unit. So there are 3 conditions to get this, like, pretty decent rule.
What if your opponent has an ability to pay 1 CP to give them precision? You just can kill the ancient, and then you don't have an army roll anymore. Like, there's so many stipulations.
Or just +1 a wound, right? Because you essentially just kind of negate the...
Yeah, then you just negate the whole army roll, too.
Oh my gosh. And again, it's doing another thing where like you need a certain hat like to play the game. You gotta have an ancient. And yeah, when we look at his data sheet later, nothing to write home about. Let's just say that.
And here's the thing. Kudos to them for them trying to make ancients a thing. They're really trying. They didn't try hard enough, but they are trying.
They are trying, and that's what matters, right?
I want more banner guys to be good. I want chaos guys to have banners too. Then I want those banners to be good. I guess so we have chaos icons, which are in fact pretty good.
The second part to this detachment rule is each time a Crusader squad unit from your army makes a Righteous Zeal move, that unit can end that move as close as possible to the closest objective marker instead of as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. I guess that's that's pretty good. I think because if they shoot at the unit and like then you could swing primary in that way. How often that will happen, I guess depends on the level of the player, like how much they'll let that happen. But say it's the last activation and they shoot at the unit, they don't kill the unit, you make a Righteous Zeal move, and if I remember correctly, for them it's d6 plus 2, so you could potentially move 8 inches and get on an objective, and then on your turn, you just score 5 more points on primary, whatever mission you're playing, you score the additional primary points. It's alright. It's not, so it prevents them from being brain dead of like, oh, I just get to shoot this unit and this, that, and the third. They kind of might have to play around that a little bit. And it's, if anything, it's probably more likely annoying than actually like super good or anything like
What's
that.
the distance on a Righteous Zeal move? Is it just d6 or is it d6 plus?
So it's only a d6, but you add 2.
Yeah, it's d6 plus 2. So they can move up to 6 inches because you can only, it's a normal move, so you can only move your movement speed. But that's enough for you to tuck behind a wall too, because it doesn't say that like you have to be able to get onto the point. So if the closest objective to you is 8 inches behind you on the other side of the wall, even though you can't get on it, you can still just run to the objective. I'm trying to find something with this, man. Doing my best.
Yeah, I like kind of like the other detachment. It's not like anything is necessarily bad. It's just like, I guess I'm about to contradict myself, but the application of like, is it good or is it more like it just makes something annoying to deal with? You might have to actually like come up with a game plan to try and get around that trick they can do, right?
Yeah, like I know that these 20 dudes are going to run behind a wall after I shoot them one time. So I either need to shoot them hard enough that I kill them all in one activation, or have guys that can target them even if they go behind the wall. It's not impossible to play around. It's another hoop that you have to, to jump through, but it's not like one that's going to surprise you if you pay attention.
So that's the detachment rule. So on to enhancements. We have Imperialis of the Eternal Crusade. Ancient model only. Each time an enemy unit selects the bearer's unit as a target of a charge, subtract 2 from the charge roll. That's not too bad. It's annoying. It depends on how much it costs.
15 points.
15 points for subtract 2 from the charge. If I have the points, I could probably take it. Just because that can make a 6-inch charge go to an 8-inch charge, a 5-inch charge to a 7-inch charge. Like these reasonable charge ranges where you're comfortable, like, I'm okay with rolling this charge without a CP reroll. All of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, hold on. My 4-inch charge becomes a 6-inch charge.
Having a 6-inch charge become an 8-inch charge is a huge difference in statistics. Obviously, this is an enhancement that's only helping you in around half of matchups, because, like, in primarily shooting armies, you just don't really care that much. But, it's not nothing. And it's probably worth just slapping on something for 15 points.
Okay, so that's that enhancement. The next one is Consecrating Aura. Adeptus Astartes model only. Models in the bearer's unit have a 5-up invulnerable save.
Great.
It's cool.
No notes. If you're taking this attachment, you're taking this enhancement.
Yeah. Just being able to give Sword Brethren a 5-up invuln on 3 wound bodies. It's not impossible to kill whatsoever, but it is a little bit annoying, If you shoot like a predator at it, out like a predator destructor at it, and you only get 4 shots before rapid fire, 6 shots. So you roll 4 hits, 3 wounds, and then you save 1 or 2, because sometimes you just kind of spike on a 5-up invuln.
That's a whole dude that you're saving, right?
Yeah.
Once again, 20 Sword Brethren with a 5-up invuln is annoying to deal with.
That too. Oh my gosh! Now that you mentioned that, sword Crusader squads with
Crusader squad, yeah, 20 dudes.
With a 5-up invuln. Oh my god, yeah, that's actually really annoying.
And now they can yeet behind a wall. Now that makes that one activation kill a little bit harder to do, for sure.
And then Grimoldus can make them a little tougher, because like his little neophyte dudes or whatever, his little servitors, they each have a 4-up invuln as well. So it's like your regular Crusader dudes are 5-up invulns, along with 3 idiots that have a 4-up invuln. So it's like all of a sudden this unit's really hard to kill all of a sudden.
Yep, definitely can just just tank.
Yeah. So that's actually not that bad. Yeah, if I was running this attachment, I'd probably run this one. Next enhancement, Orb of the Emperor's Aegis. Adeptus Astartes model only. Models in the Barris unit have the Deep Strike ability.
Cheaper than a transport.
Yeah.
10 points. Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, yeah. Wait, that's not bad at all. Yeah, if I have the points left over for this, yeah, I take it. I'm trying to think, like, what you would want to give Deep Strike. Like, I like Sword Brethren, so if I gave Sword Brethren Deep Strike, that's...
Yeah, I mean, Sword Brethren, just giving you an easy rapid ingress threat, having 5 Sword Brethren come behind a wall and then just walk out and charge something.
Look at what Godhammer says for it. I just find it funny, honestly.
Oh, the Emperor's Champion getting +2 to charge off a Deep Strike.
He gets +2 to charge? Oh, yeah, he does, against characters or whatever.
So a 7-inch charge off a Deep Strike. It's kind of ignorant. I still would probably, I'd still probably rather... ingress them to just make that 7-inch charge a 2-inch charge, but that's still pretty gross.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. So that's that one. I can't think of anything. Again, if anybody else has any cute ideas, the only thing I could think is the Emperor's Champion with Sword Brethren or Emperor's Champion by himself. But 10 points for a Deep Strike is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's a cheap utility piece for sure. I mean, if you even wanted to be super cute, once again, you could just put it on a lone op, put it on a lieutenant or something, and say, all right, I want my lone op character to be able to Deep Strike in your backfield and start doing actions. I don't know if that's probably not the most the best way to abuse it, but you could do it that way.
So next one is Warden of Honor. Crusade Ancient model only. Oh boy. While the bearer is leading a unit, each time you roll 1d6 for the bearer's Vengeful Extortion ability, add 1 to the result. I guess we have to go to his data sheet.
It's a fight on death, I believe. A 4-up fight on death normally.
Oh, that's right. Yep. You fight on death on a 3-up instead.
Can you just humor me real quick and tell me how many points it is?
The enhancement is 20 points.
The enhancement is 20 points to turn a fight on death 4-up to a fight on death 3-up. Are you serious?
50% of the time, it works every time.
That's crazy, dude. Come on.
At that point, I just rather get
another one.
Or you might as well change one of the strats to 1 CP. You fight on death on a 3-up, like how Bully Boys has it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have that. Just make it 1 CP. This unit will fight on death on a 3-up. Any unit can do it. Instead of that, it has to be a Crusader Ancient.
I mean, this is the ancient detachment. So I understand they want you to take it, but 20 points to give yourself something you're not even going to use a lot of the time when you die, because if you don't die in melee, you're definitely not going to fight on death. Dude.
Yeah, that's true. You pay 20 points for an enhancement that really is just going to come down if you're fighting orcs or I don't know what other army would be really just really melee heavy. Demons maybe?
World Eaters are going to have Forge Fiends, I guess.
Exactly.
So that's not that option. I don't think that there's really an army that's not going to look at this guy oh, well, I either need to throw a cheap unit at or cheap resource to that unit because it's going to fight me on death and kill me, or I'm going to shoot that unit to death. I don't know. I can't think of any army in the meta right now that can't do that. This could have been 10 points. This enhancement could have been 10 points and it would have been fine. At 20 points is just as stupid.
Yeah. Now that you say all this, I'm not a big fan of it at all, honestly. I guess that's the enhancements. Anybody cool with starting with the strats?
Yeah. Refusal to yield. Any phase after an ancient model is destroyed, you target that ancient model even though he's been destroyed. He stands back up with his full runes remaining. You can only do this to the same model once per battle. Your Black Templar Ancient is now a Necron model.
Standing back up strats is or abilities is not too bad. So I could see this being pretty good, because if depending on the army, that's really frustrating for them to deal with that, right? If you're dealing with Tau, they shoot you and it's at the end of the phase, right?
Yeah, it's at the end of the phase.
Yeah. So then they have to charge him, and he's at full wounds. So are 10 breachers gonna take 5 wounds? I'm gonna assume this guy has 5 wounds off this model, and then not most of the unit not die on the clapback.
That dude's probably 4 wounds for what it's worth. He's probably a regular Primaris character.
Don't say that, dude. I'm trying to make this dude sound like
okay.
It's a cool mod.
I'm just being realistic here.
Oh my god!
Look it up in the book. You got the book. Look it up for me.
Yeah,
he has 4 wounds and he has no no invuln. Oh my god.
So, I mean, it's useful to have, though, because, like, if they do happen to one activation your Crusaders, you don't get a chance to yo-yo behind the wall. You get to stand up and you get primary. Who doesn't like primary? It's the point of the game. So that's good. I like getting points. And if they precision him out...
Yeah, it stops the opponent from turning your rules off immediately.
Yeah, if they just dome him with a precision melta gun out of your Tormentors, he can just stand back up and rejoin the squad. And then those guys just die. So it has its uses. It's good as an option to have, but like the guy who has to get it is not good. We have Litanies of Purgation. In the fight phase, one Adeptus to start its unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, if that model's unit is within range of one or more objective markers, or that target is within range of one or more objective markers, improve the armor penetration characteristic of attack by 1, plus 1 AP on objectives. You can be on the objective or they can be on the objective. I like the fact that it's either or, because sometimes like things get weird when it's like, oh, I reroll when you're on an objective, but for some reason you're not on the objective, I am, so I don't get a reroll against you. So it's nice. Plus 1 AP is always good. I mean,
I like it. It's not like super restrictive where it's like they have to be on the objective. The fact that it could be either or is good. So I like the strat. Plus 1 AP is good. Even though like it still has a condition, at least it's like pretty open ended, like on the like how you can get it. Like you can get it pretty easily.
And you're gonna want to fight over objectives, so it's not like you're not like you have to be in their deployment zone or something like that. It's you want to fight over objectives. They're a key fighting space.
Yeah.
We have Spore of the Unholy. I don't think I've ever seen this word before. SPOOR. Maybe I'm just not well read. I don't know, but like. Okay. It's in the fight phase again. These are all 1 CP, I think. Oh, no. There's one that's 2 CP.
It's shooting and fight phase.
Spore of the Unholy is?
Yeah. Well, at least in the book it says when it says your shooting phase or the fight phase.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah, you are correct. One unit that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons have ignores cover. Yeah, that would be weird if it was only in the fight phase. And then you can ignore ballistic skill or weapon skill characteristics that modify the hit roll. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Ignore mods is really niche, but like when you want it, it's good to have. And ignore cover is good. Yeah, and it's any Adeptus to start as unit, so I'm sure there's a vehicle in the book later on that we could talk about that will really like having this as an option.
Yeah, it's a good strat. Even if you took away the ignore modifiers, ignore cover is just such a good rule, especially in 10th where getting cover is just so easy. So yeah, ignore cover is just a really good rule.
There's a tiny rock in front of your foot and all of a sudden you have +1 to your armor save.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good strat.
There's Reclaim Our Honor. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit destroys an ancient model from your army that has not been targeted with the refusal to yield stratagem. So you can't stack these stratagems where you stand back up. One Adeptus to start its unit that is visible to that enemy unit. Until the end of the battle, each time an Adeptus to start its model from your army makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll. You can't target the ancient with refusal to yield stratagem this phase. So you have to have another unit that can see the guy who killed an ancient. The ancient can't just die off screen and then you get +1 to wound. That's kind of a weird stipulation, I think, but +1 to hit's always good, and it's for the rest of the battle.
Isn't that kind of like the Moncost strat where like if something kills a friendly unit, you get reroll hits against it for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I mean reroll hits is probably better than +1 to hit, but
I don't know if is it as conditional, Preston, where like you have to visibly see the model?
No, it's just if something that's not a Groot unit dies, you can grudge the unit that killed it for the rest of the game. It's a pretty good strat.
Yeah. See, this one's worse. You have to see it.
Yeah.
And it has to kill an ancient specifically. It's not just anything.
Tau have drones, and they don't like it when any of their friends get killed. This Space Marines, they're like, if you killed an ancient, we're upset. But if you kill Steve, the other Space Marine, I don't care about that.
He's new.
We never really liked Steve, so it's fine.
It's the F&G thing, you know?
He spells his name with a PH, so like, I'm not a fan of that. The Recitation of the Revered is another fight phase stratagem, and one ancient unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, -1 to hit. -1 to hit is a bit of an underrated buff. It's obviously like it's not like super great, but like
I think -1 to hit is super matchup dependent. Some armies like are just really like turned off by -1 to hit.
I'll have you know that -1 to hit is the only thing my army has going for it,
and it's annoying. annoying. It's minus one a hit is actually like really annoying. Like you're like, oh, okay, minus one a hit, that's really all you got, and then you're like, man, like my damage output is like a lot less actually. And then when you hand him 10 saves at his 5-up invuln and he proceeds to roll 6 or 7 5-up invulns, you're like, okay, I can't do anything about that.
Well, minus one to hit doesn't matter because I hit on 2s normally. I hit on 3s now, and then you roll 4 2s, and you're like, ah, shit, this sucks.
Well, it also stacks with the army roll though. So I mean, minus one to hit, then you're what, minus one to wound in certain scenarios.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It makes your ancients just a little bit more survivable. What does the regular ancient do? Like, is there just a Primaris ancient?
There's a couple ancients. They got like, actually like 2 or 3 ancients. I know they have like a Blade Guard ancient.
Plus one OC.
Yeah, this actually isn't too bad because if you think about it, you take a 20-man Crusader squad with its Righteous Zeal move, gets minus one a hit, minus one a wound under certain circumstances, and then a 5-up invuln. It's kind of annoying.
I mean, unless you're shooting it with Strength 4 and you have ignore modifiers to hit, then you just ignore their whole army roll.
Mason, we're trying to make this sound kind of good.
I refuse. No. Preferred Intervention. I believe I said that correctly. This is the 2 CP strat. This is the last strat for the detachment. It's the end of your opponent's charge phase. Once again, they really liked fucking up your opponent's charge. 1 adept is a starting unit from your army that is within 6 inches of 1 or more enemy units that would be eligible to declare a charge against 1 or more of those enemies that charge. Your unit now declares a charge that only targets 1 or more of those enemy units and you resolve that charge. So it's Heroic Intervention.
For 2 CP.
For 2 CP. Well, that's what Heroic Intervention used to be back when the edition started.
That just makes this worse. I'd just rather Heroic Intervention for 1 CP.
Yeah, because like the ancient units can already heroically intervene. So what is this, like, if you have like a Dreadnought or something? I mean, I guess if you just have 5 Assault Intercessors that can heroically intervene and they're not being led, you can use it with them.
Would I want to spend 2 CP on 5 Assault Intercessors to heroically intervene?
Probably not, especially not because they don't even fight first. So I maybe like 5 JPI, because then you could like maybe do mortals and actually actively reduce the damage you're about to take, I guess. I don't know.
The only thing I could see is like maybe if you take a captain and play him with Assault Intercessors, then you can make the strat be 1 CP, so you could do 2 Heroic Interventions. Because
if you have a captain, you can heroically intervene for 1 CP because you have a character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because Heroic Intervention is 1 CP now, so you can Heroic Intervene in one spot, and then use the captain's ability to do this strat for 1 CP, and you essentially only spend 2 CP for 2 Heroic Interventions.
I see. Okay, so you were saying heroically intervene twice. I thought you were just saying like all that. Well, the heroic captain can reduce the strat cost of this. Let it cost only 1. I'm like, yeah, okay. This attachment's bad. Like, right? Like, am I crazy here?
Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. We're trying to see like light somewhere in this tunnel, you know? Like,
there's plenty of glazing you can do for this codex. This attachment ain't it.
I think that's the worst one.
Yeah, this is Champions of Vehemence was like, it's definitely niche. It's not the best. Like, it's not better than Gladius, but like I could see some merit to running this. Why would you ever run this? Don't run unless you really want to run like 6 banner guys. Don't run this.
Like, if I were to play, I would only play this detachment if I was doing like one of our charity events and I wanted to play my Black Templars and run like 3 or 4 of these ancient, because the model is cool.
Oh, the model is juiced. I love the model.
Yeah, I love the model, but competitively, I am not enticed to take this detachment whatsoever.
Hey, there's nobody that can stop you from buying a model and using it as your Black Templars Company of Hero model. Just saying.
Hey, big brain plays.
Then you get the best of both worlds. You get to put them in a good unit and then still use that model.
The problem is like ancients just don't have a good role in general, and then you make all these strats super like you need an ancient, and then you need to meet condition A, condition B, and condition C, and you will get your detachment rule. And it's like, dude, these models, like this unit, this character is just not good. So make the rule, like, it doesn't have to be busted, but don't give it conditions. Like, if you took away all the conditions, be like, all right, ancients are bad, so let's just make an ancient good enough in this detachment. If the ancient's leading the unit, -1 a wound. Like, cool. Like, that makes ancients more enticing.
If you're gonna make you're gonna lock your detachment rule behind like certain things and have certain stipulations for it, it's got to be a good detachment rule, not one that's like only works half the time. Because like if someone just shoots you with strength 4 guns only, -1 to wound doesn't do anything. You don't get it.
It seems like they look at rules, like at just rules for what they are. Like they look at them separately from what they're trying to like pair it into. And if you're gonna make rules based around key units, you need to look at the value of that like key unit. Like if you look at an ancient, like a regular ancient, the only thing he does is give +1 OC. Okay, give +1, like let them have the +1 OC, and then they're -1 a wound. Okay, it doesn't make him that much better, but it makes him maybe more enticing. Same with like a Blade Guard Ancient, -1 a wound on Blade Guard that can get reroll 1 on the invuln saves. Now they're a little tougher. Now my Blade Guard actually feel like I can put them on an objective, and maybe they might survive some like firepower.
Yeah, I mean the best thing about this detachment is the fact that company heroes have an ancient model built in, so you'll get at least one good unit if you run it with a chap. But like I don't see a lot of good reason to run this detachment.
Yeah, this detachment doo-doo tier. Next,
the Godhammer, which is a super cool name. You said that this is one you liked, right? You want to go ahead and give it a read?
Yeah, it looks spicy.
You think mayonnaise is spicy?
I think mayonnaise is spicy. I think spicy mayo is spicy.
What is wrong with you?
Shock and awe. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army declares a charge, if it disembarked from a transport this turn, after selecting the targets of the charge, select one of those targets. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. Okay. Each time a model in an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army makes a melee attack, if it disembarked from a transport this turn, add 1 to the hit roll.
Okay, so they definitely buried the lead. Like the first one, the second one is the better one, right? Like
yeah, it doesn't do anything for Sword Brethren, so I'm a little underwhelmed because Sword Brethren hit on 2s, so you can't really get. The only thing that it's good against is like if you play against Admech and like how they have their I forget what it's called, but basically they have their ability for -1 a hit in melee, so you can go in there and just be like, all right, I'm gonna ignore that -1 a hit, and my Sword Brethren are still gonna hit on 2s.
Dude, you gotta tech for Admech.
The Protector Doctrina Imperative? You didn't remember that one?
No, I don't remember any of the names because you don't say them. You're just like, all right, Fabian, you're -1 a hit. And I'm like, I know, Preston. I've played your Admech like 20 times by now. You don't have to tell me every time.
I do have to say it every time, though, or somebody forgets after 2 hours.
All right, Paragon of Fury. This is the first enhancement. Adeptus Astartes model only. Add 2 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer. Damn, I got really excited. I thought that was for the unit. I was like, damn, this is good. Each time a melee attack made by the bearer is allocated to an enemy model, if the bearer disembarked from a transport this turn, add 1 to the damage characteristic of that attack. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
25 points.
That's a little pricey, but still, I mean, that's pretty good. I just think of an Emperor's Champion. He goes to strength 10, AP 3, flat 4 damage at 6 attacks. And then if you put him with Assault Intercessors, reroll wounds on objectives, reroll ones off of objectives. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's him smashing. At that point, he's smashing into light vehicles and just killing them, right? He's picking them up himself. Like, if you have a T10 or lower vehicle, like, you're just like, here's 3 AP3 saves. If you fail them, you take 12 damage. Oh, you're saving on 6s, you didn't roll any 6s? Okay, take 12 damage to the face. Your Predator's getting cooked. I'm sorry.
How many points is the champion? 90 points, yeah.
So he's 115 points with this enhancement, and he's killing he's one-rounding an Armiger here, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, hitting on 2s, strength 10, so wounding on 3s, flat 4 damage apiece. Again, if you put him with Assault Intercessors, he gets reroll 1s to wound, or full wound rerolls on objectives. I like it. It's like a point sink, but I mean, that's like a missile that like can kill something relatively like pretty good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a Gladiator Lancer, like a medium vehicle or like a Predator on an objective with the Emperor's Champion and Assault Intercessors with this enhancement, like just picked it up. That's pretty good.
I mean, D3 Power Fist, Strength 10, you probably get 3 mortal wounds from the guys running into you, especially if you throw a grenade beforehand. Like, yeah, you're probably gonna pick up an Armiger because your regular chainswords are wounding on 5s too.
Yeah, I like this. All right, next one is Battle Psalm Precentor. Adeptus Astartes model only. Each time the bearer's unit declares a charge, if an enemy unit takes a battle shock test as a result of the shock and awe detachment rules, subtract 1 from the battle shock test. I mean, how many points is it?
10 points.
Okay, 10 points. If I got points left over, sure.
Just slap this on something, whatever.
Yeah, Battle Shock is just, you can get it, you cannot. Like, if your opponent, alright, you need to get an 8 on 2d6, to pass this Battle Shock test. They roll a 10. You can't do anything about it. I'm not a big fan of Battle Shock stuff. It's just super, like, it comes down to, like, dice, and I just don't like that. But with it being 10 points, it's like, if I got the points, I'll take it.
Yeah, you just, whatever. You got the extra points. So everyone but that first one is actually pretty cheap, it looks like. So, okay, at least you got cheap enhancements.
Next one is, I don't know if I'm saying this first word right, Augury Server Host. Adeptus Astartes model only. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 inches invisible to the bearer. Till the end of phase, models in that unit cannot have the benefit of cover. How many points is this?
15.
This is not too bad because you get a Tech Priest, you put this on him, put him next to a Rep X, he'll get Lone Op, and then so he'll be within 12 of the one unit, but the Rep X will not get cover from the Rep X. So that's pretty good.
I think this enhancement's really good. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't put it on a Tech Marine, you put it on something that just got out of either the Rep X or like a Land Raider or an Impulsor or something, because it's at the start of the shooting phase, so the timing is great. You hop out and you say, that thing, my Rep X behind me is going to shoot the piss out of it, and you're not going to get any saves for it. I like that.
The only reason I would like a Tech Marine is like if you want to like focus on just buffing the hell out of this Rep X, you'll give it basically ignores cover against the one unit, reroll hits against the one unit, and then +1 to hit. So it's like, I'm definitely going to be smoking whatever's in front of, like, within 12 inches of this Rep X.
I mean, the fact that repulsors can you fit 6 Blade Guard and a guy in a Rep X? Yeah, you can. So you can have 5 Sword Brethren and an Emperor's Champion hop out of a Repulsor Executioner, and then have the Tech Marine behind them say, I want the guys in front of me dead, and then I'm going to charge the guys behind those guys.
Yeah, the only other thing I could see, like what you said, where instead of the Tech Marine getting it, something else does, is that maybe that unit that's getting out of the Rep X to go charge one thing is also within 12 inches of another unit. So the Rep X can focus on killing one thing, and then the other unit can focus on charging and killing something else. So it allows you to make sure 2 things die. I think this is a good one.
That's what I was saying, man. But that's okay. Yeah, like I think it's a good enhancement.
I just think you're kind of bad at explaining things. So
yeah, no one should give you a microphone, but I had bought it my own. So I'm in a battle of spite with God.
All right, the next enhancement, Herald of Sacred Slaughter. Adeptus Astartes model only, and the declare battle formation step. If the bearer starts the battle embarked within a dedicated transport, that dedicated transport has the Scout's 9 ability. I mean, how many points is this? Where is it?
15.
15, yeah.
Scouts 9.
Scouts 9 is kind of crazy.
For 15 points. Hey, man. Emperor's Champion, Scout 9, with 5 Sword Brethren inside of Impulsor. So, Scouts 9, he moves 8, I think, so he can disembark. So, Scouts 9, gets out 3, moves 8, that's 11. So, what is that, 11? So, he's
that's
moving
20 inches. If he's on the line, it's 20 inches from your deployment zone edge. +2 to charge.
This is without doing any, like, charges or anything. That's kind of spicy.
Yeah, like this is like you could very easily just be overtaken by someone just yeeting this down your throat turn 1. Is it the best play? I don't know. Is it really funny? It is very funny.
Yeah, I mean 15 points for Scout 9 is not too bad. But I think the problem is that the Servo Host and the Paragon of Fury are just really good already. That like if you're gonna take a Sacred Slaughter, you just have to have the points left over, or you see something in the Scout 9 like that, something I don't see that is just like better than one of these two. Because I don't know, Emperor's Champion I think is just better with Paragon of Fury than Herald of Sacred Slaughter.
Well, the issue is like you can't put a 10-man in any dedicated transports. You don't have any that are big enough.
Yeah.
So because you can't put like anything in Rhinos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're stuck with an Impulsor. That's the only dedicated transport, which means that you're up to 7 dudes. So like you could put a Justiciar and 6 Blade Guard units in there, and that's pretty funny because now you have a fights first unit that's in the center of the board, and just say if you come near me, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, it's good. I just think there are 2 better ones. So this one will probably sit at home most of the time, but not because it's bad. It's just there's better ones.
Yeah, spending 70 points on enhancements is a lot of points.
So far so good. Is anybody cool with starting with the strats?
All right, so strat-wise, we have Uncompromising Egress. It's 1 CP in your movement phase, 1 Land Raider model in your army that's not been selected to move this phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes unit embarked within your Land Raider can disembark, and in doing so, they can be set up anywhere wholly within 6 inches of your land raider and can be set up within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Why would you want to do that last one? I don't really know. If you're close enough to be in engagement range, I feel as though you want to charge them to get the... I guess if you're really afraid of getting overwatched, you could just start in engagement range. But most of the time, I feel as though you're probably going to want to charge them if you're that close. This is okay.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to use this strat.
If they run and tie up your land raider and they wrap your land raider, that's when you use it. The issue is a land raider is enormous, so it's kind of hard to wrap it entirely unless you're playing against like GSC or something. And even then, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that you're going to have to use it a lot. I guess Sword Brethren are on 40 mil bases, so they are pretty big.
Yeah, it's only good if you're getting wrapped, and it's like you can't do because the rule, if I remember correctly, like for disembarking transports, if you physically cannot disembark from a transport wholly within 3 and be outside of engagement range, you can't disembark at all.
Right, yeah. So it's a utility strat, I guess. That's fine.
You can also kind of pretend like it's advance and charge, because you're getting +3 to move, essentially, for a CP.
Well, but you could just normally move the land raider and then disembark.
Yeah, but what if you were trying to go and like the terrain's getting in the way or whatever, or you don't want to move the land raider into the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, I could definitely see niche interactions where that is useful. You're like, I don't want to move my land raider, or like, you know, what have you. Like, my land raider's on 1 wound. I don't want it to get overwatched by these eradicators, so I'll just leave it still and have these guys get the 3 extra digits of movement and have them run off the fuckville. It's a good utility strat, but it's like if I'm gonna keep looking for the power and the stratagems. And with a name like Gauntlet of the God Emperor, this is it. It's in your movement phase. 1 Adeptus is started vehicle model that has not been selected to move this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time your model makes a normal or advanced move, it can move horizontally through terrain features. This is money. This is any transport-based detachment or vehicle-based detachment should have a stratagem like this. I 10 out of 10, I enjoy this one. Being able to just like Kool-Aid Man through walls is always really good.
Yeah. Like if your rep-backs, like if the terrain is preventing it from being within 12 inches of an enemy unit to shoot, like to get the full hit rerolls, I can just be like, I'm going to go through this wall and I will be within 12 inches of you and shoot you.
Yeah. The only way this could possibly be better is if it also gave you assault.
Yes.
But then it would just be stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Focused Hatred is in your charge phase just after you make a charge roll for an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that disembarked from a transport this turn. That's a lot of stipulations, but hopefully it's worth it. You target that unit. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit makes a charge move, models within your unit can move through models. When doing so, its models can move within engagement range of enemy models if those enemy models belong to a unit that you're declared to charge against this turn. So you can run and you can tag people, you can run people, touch people in the butt.
And not be move blocked.
Yeah, well, you can still be move blocked because you can only charge against models you're declaring a charge against.
Oh, yeah.
Why? If you could move through all enemy models, this should be money in the bank. I mean, like, it wouldn't even be busted. It would just be good. But I guess it's good if someone's like making like a horseshoe around a point, saying like even if you charge me, you're not gonna get on the point. You can circumvent that, which is good.
Yeah, if you roll high enough on the charge.
Yeah, I mean, you have to clear them, so there's that stipulation there too. It's one of the strats of all time. It's not like a garbage strat. It just is not like, you know, it's not game breaking for sure.
Yeah.
Commendatory info screen. Condemnatory info screen. It's info screen. That's all you need to know. It's in your fight phase. 1 Adeptus is a started unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, if it disembarked from a transport this turn, reroll a wound roll of 1. If it disembarked from a land raider, you reroll all wounds. Reroll wounds is good. Reroll once the wound is pretty good. And reroll... This is the Land Raider detachment. You're probably going to want at least a Redeemer here. So rerolling wounds when you get out is pretty good because the unit that you're putting in a transport is probably a big, expensive unit.
Yeah.
So...
I like it.
Yeah, like, I mean, what's wrong? A Ceaseless Cause is at the end of a fight phase. 1 Adeptus started a unit that was eligible to fight this phase. If a unit is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. It cannot embark within a transport at the end of this move if it disembarked from a transport this turn. So you can yo-yo out of combat into a stratagem, or into a transport.
It's a good strat. It's like if I'm reading this right, it's like opportunistic raiders. You can deny trades where it's like, all right, cool, I killed you. I'm close enough behind the wall where I can get my 5 sword brethren behind the wall after combat. And if you want to get me, you have to basically overextend, and I just kill this unit without having to expose too much. It's a good strat.
I think this strat is really good. You're probably going to want to use this almost every turn. You're going to want to use this every opportunity you get, basically.
The only stipulation is that if you don't kill that thing in combat, you're stuck, because it says if the unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. So if you don't kill whatever you're in combat with, you're just stuck there.
Oh, it says if it's not. Oh, then there's a typo.
Yeah, if your unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. It cannot embark within a transport at the end of this move.
Oh.
If it disembarked from a transport this turn.
Okay, but if it's 10 Swords Brother, what are they really not killing?
Yeah. It's just that is something you do have to watch out for. Because in opportunistic raiders, it was, you can make a regular, if you're not in engagement range, you can make a regular move up to 6 inches, 12 if you're mounted, but if you are in combat still, you just get to make a regular fallback move, which sometimes was better.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to yo-yo out of combat is good, but just keep in mind that if you're planning on using this, make sure that your numbers are sure, and you're definitely going to kill it whatever you kill.
Yeah, because this is probably like a strat you're going to play around a lot. Like, probably the, make a normal move up to 6 inches, and then full wound rerolls off an objective, or full wound rerolls out of a transport. Sorry.
Yeah, out of a Land Raider. Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably, like, so far based on what we're reading, the two strats you're gonna play around with a lot, and they're really good.
And remember, if you are wounding something on 4s with your Vow, you're wounding things on 3s. So even if you're only rerolling once, that means you're only flubbing on 2s. So even if you get out of an impulsor with it, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the last strat is Blessed Hull. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after the selected target, you pick a vehicle, and it's -1 damage.
This is really good on a Rep X.
Is it though? Because like most of the time you're shooting that are things of like D6 plus something damage. There's not a lot of damage 2, damage 3 getting shot at a Blessed Hull or at like a Land Raider or something like that. Typically, it's higher damage vehicles.
I feel like -1 damage, because you have to think about it. We played with the Demon Princes, and the -1 damage, even if it's like a D6 plus 1, it's like, all right, I rolled a 4, so I'm doing like if it's D6, or I'm sorry, you roll like a 3, it's 4 damage goes down to 3, and it's like that's a lot.
It does
better.
it just skews your opponent's math in a lot of ways too, which is pretty good.
Especially with something that's T12 16 wounds that you can pop smoke.
Are you gonna pop smoke and Blessed Hull for 3 CP?
That's 3 CP at this point.
Oh wait, it's 2 CP?
It's 2 CP. If this was -1 damage for 1 CP, this would be crazy.
Yeah,
but no, it's 2 CP. That's why I'm on the fence about it. You're not spamming this for sure, right?
Yeah, no. With it being 2 CP, I'm not too big of a... If it's crucial, because it's like, all right, I need my Rep X to live for like another activation because I need it on my go turn, or I need to kill this thing to score points or something, like, then yeah, it's worth 2 CP because it can skew math. But just to randomly do it because you're like, I just want to be my Rep X to be annoying, it's not worth it.
And there's a lot of armies out there also that just do like D2 or D3 damage lethals against you, which this puts in money in the bank against those guys. So yeah, I think that this is probably the best attachment in the book. It's probably only slightly better than Companions. It's substantially better than the Vindication Task Force.
Oh my god, that one's so bad, bro.
But yeah, but ultimately, like, we don't need to beat around the bush. Like, you're probably gonna run Gladius if you're going to a tournament and want to do well. Like, unless you're at an event and you're specifically doing something specific where you can't take Gladius for some reason. I'm not sure what the circumstances that would be, but like Gladius is probably better than these all around because you just have more tools available to you. But these are playable detachments. 2 out of 3 of them are, which is kind of par for the course for Codex supplements, right? There's usually 1 or 2 decent detachments, but like most of the time, unless it's Liberator Assault Group, you're probably playing Gladius.
Yeah, I agree. Are we going to data sheets now?
Yeah, we can.
So with the data sheets, almost all the characters, it's kind of like Emperor's Children a little bit. It's like the characters are really like would do a lot of the work because they just give so many buffs for their units and make those buffs like kind of go crazy and make these units become like really good missiles. Like High Marshal Helbrecht, I don't think anything about him, like in terms of his melee weapon or his range weapon or even his like stat line, I think he gained 1 wound. I think he went from 5 wounds to 6 wounds. But other than that, nothing like changed, like with the profile, but his ability, Crusade of Wrath, is new. It's add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. That's really good on Sword Brethren because Sword Brethren, they hit on 2s now, but they only have 3 attacks apiece. So going up to 4 attacks apiece and strength 6 on all the power swords or the mastercrafted power swords is really good. They're gonna output a lot more damage.
Yeah, it means you win big knights on 4s instead of 5s when you run the Vow.
Yeah, and then they have lethal hits, and then if you want to run, if for some reason you want to run the Thunderhammer's devastating wounds, like that unit just hits. His ability, the High Marshal ability, at the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this model's unit, roll 1d6, add 1 to the result for every 5 models in this model's unit. On a 2 to 3, it's d3 mortals. 4 to 5, it's 3 mortals. On a 6, it's d6 plus, it is d3 plus 3. And note that it's not if High Marshal Helbrecht and his unit charges the unit. If any enemy unit ends an engagement, so if they get charged, he also does mortals. So that's good because, like Preston was saying, like if you charge a knight, you get to pop off and possibly do like a shit ton of mortals. And then you have Sword Brethrens that hit on 2s at 4 attacks apiece with lethal hits, +1 a wound, and then depending on some of the attachments, you have access to reroll wounds. Like it can add up. It's just a lot of damage. So High Marshal Helbrecht, that's, yeah, like I say, it hasn't really changed, but that one rule is new, and it's a really good one, so I like it a lot. Grimaldus, he got worse and more expensive. The new relics he have are, like, worse. Instead of 5 up, feel no pain, it's add 1 to the toughness, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for that unit. I don't remember what that one replaced, but I know that this wasn't there before. And then improve that. This is a good one, and it's like the only good one, but Helbrecht isn't priced accordingly that I would pay this many points to just get this one buff. Improve armor penetration characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit by 1.
That one did not change.
That one didn't change?
Before it was 5 up, feel no pain, eligible to declare a charge in which it advanced or fell back, and +1 AP in melee.
Okay. Yeah, see, being eligible to, what is it? You said eligible to charge in a turn you fell back?
Or advanced.
That is so much better than add 1 to advance and charge rolls.
Yeah, that's way better. It's like not even a comparison.
While this unit's leading a unit and contains a Chaplain Grimaldus model, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll a hit roll. That's not bad. But because what can he lead? Assault Intercessor Squad, Crusader Squad, Sword Brethren. So like Assault Intercessors, it's cool. Reroll hits, reroll wounds on objectives. Sword Brethren's already hit on 2s. But like again, Grimaldus is like 120 points. I don't want to pay for that. When spoilers, a Castellan can give you reroll hits. Reroll once to hit. If you pass the leadership test, it's reroll all hits. And you're mainly gonna attach that guy with Sword Brethren that hit on 2. So even if you don't pass, you're rerolling 1s. So like that, and he's much cheaper. He's 60 points to give basically reroll hits to Sword Brethren.
That's like a crime, dude. 60 points.
Yeah. So I don't see any point taking Grimaldus unless he drops to like 90 points or something like that.
Even then, it's hard to find a spot for him.
Yeah, he's the price of a Sword Brethren squad. Like,
yeah,
he's got to do some serious output to compete with that.
Since I was just talking about him, we'll go a little bit out of order here. Castellan, nothing crazy on him. Mastercrafted power sword, lethal hits, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2. His abilities is what's really good. Like I said, you take a leadership test. If it's passed, you get to reroll all hits in melee. If you fail, you just reroll hit rolls of 1. And with the unit he wants to be attached to, like 90% of the time, they hit on 2s. So that's just good. You just really want to pass it, like if you need to fish for lethals, because again, Sword Brethren hit on 2s. So if you want the full reroll hits, it's like I'm hitting on 2s. I'm just gonna be greedy and reroll everything to get as many lethals as possible. Especially if you stack the Castellan, because the Castellan could also be in a unit that's already led by a character that is either a captain or a chapter master. And spoiler alerts, you combine the Castellan with the Marshal, because the Marshal gives crit 5s to the unit. So your Sword Brethren get crit lethal 5s, re-rolling hits. So you're just fishing for 5s when you hit on 2s. And so you have a Marshal with crit 5s and a Castellan with reroll hits, and that just makes Sword Brethren like kill God basically with that many attacks. And +1 a wound. And then if you want to in Gladius, give +1 AP. So if you want to make those Mastercrafted Power Swords AP 3, that's just also more damage there. And then the other thing about the Marshal is that for every unit, each time this model's unit is selected to fight until the end of the phase, add 1 to the attack characteristic of this model's Mastercrafted Power Weapon for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model to a maximum of 3. So potentially this dude can, because he's 7 attacks base, can get to 10 attacks. And then the funny thing is you give him Honor Vehement, which I think is +1 attack, so he could get to 11 attacks. So this guy can do a lot of damage.
He chop for sure.
Yeah, he can do a lot of damage. So those are like, that's why I think like this, the thing about Black Templars with this codex is that none of the detachments are insanely good besides like the Godhammer one. And even then that one's It's the Datasheets. It's just all of these combos, like the damage output in this army is crazy. The Emperor's Champion also got a big glow up. He no longer has what is it?
Epic Hero.
Epic Hero. So you can only still take 1 of him because that's his rule, but he no longer has the keyword Epic Hero that it won't allow him to take enhancements. And he is a great character to take like certain enhancements for him. He moves 8, which is really good. He's still T4, he's 2 up, 4 up, he's 5 wounds. His Black Sword is 6 attacks on the strike at strength 8, AP 3 damage, 10 attacks on the sweep at strength 6, AP 2 damage. And then once per phase, when an attack is allocated to this model and the saving throw is failed, you can chase the damage characteristic of that attack to 0. It's really good. It's once per phase too. It's not once per turn or once per battle round. It's once per phase.
What did you say his sweep was? Hitting on 2, strength 7, AP 2 damage?
No, strength 6, AP 2 1 damage. His sweep.
Oh, I thought you said it was 2 damage. Okay. I was sorry. No. I heard 2 damage and I went to Angron's profile and read his sweep. I was so upset for a second. I was like, this little guy has a 2 damage sweep. I'm calling the police.
We'll get back to that in a second, actually. Each time this model's unit declares a charge, if 1 or more targets with a charge have the character keyword, add 2 to the charge roll. Once per battle when this unit is selected to fight, if that unit is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy character units, this model gets devastating wounds on his melee weapon. And it's really good because he's anti-character, on the strike, he's anti-character 5-up precision dev wounds. So you can, depending on the type of character it is, like a Archon or like an AdMech character, like he would definitely just kill the character with dev wounds. You just, okay, gonna fish for dev wounds. Okay, I got the dev wounds. Put those to the side. The rest of the unit's gonna take these saves. It's good. And then what is it? There is an argument to put Artificer armor on him because of the
5 up, feel no pain.
It's he gets a 2-up save, 5 up, feel no pain, and he gets to blank a save once a phase. So like he could just be really, and he's lone op, so he could be really annoying. Like if you ran him by himself, like if you wanted to be like defensively tough, like you just take that, make him lone op, put him on an objective. They have to go within 12 inches, and then like if 5 Cavalites shoot at him, right? Like the Dark Lance, you fail the save. You're like, I'm gonna blank it. You're gonna have to shoot me with something else. Like, but you probably just take Honor Vehement on him because you add 2 to the attacks and strength characteristic. So you make him 8 attacks at 10-3-3 or 12 attacks at 8-2-1. There's also argument to put Honor Vehement on the Marshal because he goes from 10 attacks to 12 attacks at 7-2-2.
Dude, what is up with all the characters having 10 attacks? That is a wholly ridiculous number.
Yeah. These characters are crazy.
They're
These
all
guys
super
are insane.
cheap too. Like, why is a Castellan 60 points? Why is a Marshal 80 points?
It's kind of ridiculous. These guys are kind of, in my opinion, are like what make Black Templars like really good. Because I feel like if you just nerf the characters, like Sword Brethren are just mid. Because you have to think about it. Their ability, like their new ability is good, but what made Sword Brethren really good and made them so expensive for what they were is that when they charged something, they got +1 damage. So everything was like 2 or 3 damage.
Yeah.
They didn't need characters a lot back at that time because with Gladius, you give them advance and charge, so they didn't need a character for advance and charge. And you charge something, and you spent 1 for +1 a wound and +1 AP, and then +1 damage. you don't really need a character to try and pick up like 3 Exalted 8-bound or, 5 Terminators with Sword Brethren that put them at their invuln and just wound them on 2s and 3s of everything. Like,
all I'm saying is, it wasn't too long ago, Fabian, you and I were talking about how the Lord Exultant for 80 points is a really crazy good character because he gives lethal hits and he hits really hard. And the Castellan's 60 points give lethal hits and reroll 1s. And also hits really hard. Like, yeah. What are we talking about here? Like, what is the game? I feel as if the last 4 codex that comes out, it's just like, we're just gonna put crazy stuff in here and just call it a day. Who cares?
Last year of the edition, you have to.
Yeah. So the next one is the Execrator. His rule, advance and charge to the unit. That's really good. Advance and charge is a really good rule. His Crozius is just like any other Crozius, if I remember. Strength 6, AP 1/2 damage, or you take the mastercrafted power weapon. It says extra attacks on it. Does he get to equip both?
I don't. Yeah, he probably can, because usually I don't think they let chaplains give up their Crozius, so he probably could take up like a Power Fist and a Crozius or whatever.
Oh yeah, so he's equipped with the Crozius, and it says if this model is equipped with the Absolver Bolt Pistol, it can be equipped with 1 mastercrafted power weapon if this model's pistol. But the model's pistol cannot be replaced.
So what's the stat line on the shovel?
6/1/2, 5 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Like a Crozius doesn't ever go super crazy, but usually you take the chaplain for the buffs that it gives the squad.
Yeah. His second ability is not that good. Not every ability can be good in this game, but each time this model's unit has fought, if 1 or more enemy units was destroyed as a result of those attacks, each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model must take a battle shock test. That's whatever.
They keep giving units that rule, and that rule has been around since the start of the edition, and it's never been good.
Yeah. I don't ever see it be used or be impactful in any way. So next, Crusade Ancient. That's one of the new models. That is the second new model.
Here we go, baby. This is meta defining right here. Let me know.
All right, so bolt pistol, 1 shot.
There it is.
Mastercrafted power weapon, built-in lethal hits. Yeah, he gets 5 attacks instead of the usual 3 or 4 attacks. So he gets 5 attacks sitting on 2s.
We're cooking for sure.
Strength 5, AP 2/2 damage. Vengeful Extortion. When this model's leading unit, each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack. If it has not fought this phase, roll 1d6 on a 4-up. Do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, and is then removed from play. It's alright. 4-up Fight on Death isn't bad, but I feel like I'm just not going to pay however many points he is just to get that. He has to be stupid cheap, 40 points.
What was his other rule?
The other rule is the first time a model in this model's unit makes a melee attack that destroys 1 or more enemy units until the end of the battle, while this model's unit is not battle shocked, add 5 to this model's objective control characteristic.
This guy sucks. I don't have anything else to say about this guy. Is nothing, dude. Come on.
Yeah, this dude. And that just sucks because his model is so cool.
This orc head is baller, and you just put him in your company heroes.
Yeah, you could do that. Next is Sword Brethren Squad. We've talked about it a lot, so we don't have to go, too crazy. The only thing is equipment wise, for every 5 guys, 1 of them can get a Thunderhammer, and for every 5 guys, 1 can get Lightning Claws. So you could have either all 5 have Chain Swords, all 5 have Mastercrafted Power Weapon, or you could do 3 Power Weapons with a Thunderhammer and a Lightning Claw, or 3 Chain Swords with a Thunderhammer, Lightning Claw. In my opinion, I feel like you're just going to take the Mastercrafted Power Weapon on all 5. Or all 4, because funny enough, Sword Brethren could be taken in 4-man squads. All Mastercrafted Power Weapons, because you want to get the lethal hits on 5s and fish for them with the Castellan and the Marshal. And then Grimoldus just helps the Mastercrafted Power Weapon get really good with his abilities. So I rather just take hitting on 2s at 4 attacks instead of 4 attacks hitting on 3s. And if you roll a 6 on the wound, you get devastating. I'd just rather have the massive amount of lethal hits. Their rule, each time an enemy unit within engagement range of this unit is selected to fall back. After it ends the fallback move, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, this unit can make a normal move. That is a good rule. I like it, especially if you're a player that's really good with setting up your transports, to plan for that. Set your transports, because it doesn't say anything you can't embark in a transport when you do this normal move, and since it's considered a normal move, you can't embark in a transport. So, it's a good rule. I don't think it's better than the +1 +1 damage or +1 attacks when they charged. But with all the changes they made and like the character combos and stuff, I think that makes up for that damage debuff significantly. So this is a good rule. I like it. There is a lot of debate because I don't know the official ruling. A lot of well-known players are saying that you can do this move and a reactive move, but then talking with Preston, who's really good with the rules, is saying it doesn't work that way. So I'm not 100% sure how it works, but either way, it's a good rule.
It shouldn't work that way from a game design, but it does because of the way timings work. If we're talking just Gladius, one of them's an after, one of them's a just after, and so you can stack them because just after interrupts after. But gotcha. I don't know if I'm ever gonna allow that at an event. I don't know. I'm just tired. I think I just like die a little bit inside if somebody wants to do this, because it's not a thing that is supposed to be done, in my opinion. It's just that GW sucks at writing rules.
Yeah, that's fair.
Your Marines that move 6 inches just ran away 12 inches on my turn. That kind of is lame, right?
Yeah, I agree. But technically, if it's a thing, like it is what it is, right?
It's worth knowing for sure, because depending on the events, depending on if it's ever errated, it will be legal. And
so it is a possible stupid interaction. I guess it'll depend on the events, but it's good. It's a good rule, and it's busted if it could, if the event allows it to stack with reactive moves. So Sword Brethren are just as good, and they got cheaper. They used to be 150, went down to 140, and then I think it's like the difference in prize points. No, price. That's the right word. Price. I think a 5-man is 130, and a 4-man is 105. So very interesting. And then that's just a good squad. Sternguard veterans suck. They get reroll a wound roll of 1. Terminators suck, like any other Terminators. I don't even know what their rule is, but Terminators are just not good. So I don't even really bother looking at the rule. Oh, it's the teleport Homer. Okay, so they can.
So they're just regular Terminators.
Yeah, basically. They're just regular Terminators.
Why do they have a special datasheet then?
I don't know. Maybe it could be like a warrior thing.
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's the only thing that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Impulsor is like any other Impulsor. It just gets a multi-melta. Crusader Squad, they got all the different weapons, can be taken up to 20 dudes, and they have the Blood Surge move, or Righteous Zeal move for them.
Does the Impulsor have a different ability, or is it still the advance and get out rule?
Unit can disembark from this transport after it has it advanced.
So it's literally the same. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping, because that rule's not super applicable, because Black Templar are mostly melee, so you still can't charge after you get out. So it's like
yeah. So the other 2 dash sheets I want to go with. One is I want to praise because it's busted. It's a really good data sheet, and the other one is just hilariously bad. So we'll start with the Repulsor Executioner. This thing has a bazillion guns. This thing is a house, too. It's T12, 3-up save, 16 wounds, 5 OC. This is chunky. And then its rule, Interception Strike. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit within 12 inches of one or more Adeptus Astartes units from your army, you can re-roll the hit roll. That is really good. The Repex itself does not have to be within 12, but it is an Adeptus Astartes unit, so it can be within 12 inches of an enemy model itself to get the reroll hits. So you don't have to rely on another unit, but that does help the Repex. If you're shooting something downtown, you could bring scouts down 9 inches away or 12 inches away from an enemy unit, and then your Repex is just shooting that thing down. And then you can give the Repex, in Gladius, the strat for +1 AP ignores cover. So all your little guns can be AP1, AP2 ignores cover, and then your laser destroyer could be AP5 ignore cover, your Melta's AP5 ignore cover, Stubber's AP1 ignore cover, Rocket Pod is AP2 ignores cover. You will kill infantry very well, and you will mulch vehicles very well, or very good as well. And then it's also a transport, so nothing crazy, but it's a tank that shoots real good, and if I remember correctly, it's 220 points, and I believe that's the same price as a regular Repulsor Executioner.
It is, in fact, and it's way better than a regular one.
It's the same price as a Land Raider Crusader.
Oh my God. That speaking of, actually, that's a good segue, Michael. The Land Raider Crusader. This thing, I get it's 220 points, but it does nothing. You're paying 220 points to get reroll ones to wound, to hit and wound. Like, I just rather spend that somewhere else. 220 points. That's another rep X. I can get a lot more things more efficiently than what a Crusader does. It gets like 30 some bolter shots or something like that, if that, but it's only strength 4 AP01 damage. If it was like strength 4 AP1 ignores cover, then sure. But I don't want to spend 1 CP in Gladius to give my bolters AP1 ignore cover on a Crusader when I can do that for a 220 point tank that has a multi-melta, a rocket pod, heavy stubbers, heavy bolters, a las cannon, you know.
Yeah, I just did the math. If you are in rapid fire range and range of all the guns, you have 43 shots with a repulsor executioner.
That's insane.
That's too many.
Yeah, those are all the data sheets I wanted to highlight.
Oh, plus D3. 43 plus D3. Sorry, I forgot the Icarus rocket pod.
Well, that just makes it ridiculous.
Yeah, now we're getting crazy.
So high level, like overall, you know, I usually ask this question at the end, like letter score wise for the overall codex and data sheets, you know, talking S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. Where are you ranking this?
If like D tier is the lowest, I put it high B, low A. Well, I put it high B if we're looking at the codex for what it is, like if we're not including Gladius, because there's like one detachment that's decent, but the data sheets are like crack. They're insanely good. But I put it low A tier because like competitively, you're not just restricted to the codex. Like I can run Gladius and then take Black Templar data sheets, and that's insane. So I would put it you know, depending on what rules or restrictions we have. High B, low A.
Yeah, I think that competitively it's going to be in that A tier codex, possibly higher just because representation, like it might have higher than like a 55% win rate. You know, it definitely seems like it has a pretty decent night matchup. Overall, from the general game design standpoint, I would put it probably mid B. Everything works together really well, but because its strengths are based on the strength of data sheets and point costs are kind of nebulous, like if points go up too much, then all these synergies stop working, right? So I don't like, and it basically you're going to have to take generic Space Marine stuff with Black Templar Flare, which isn't as fun. So it gets a couple points down for me, but it's a very good codex, and it's definitely like a step forward for for Black Templar, and I'm waiting for Fabian to ask me to borrow my Repulsor Executioner.
I will need to at some point.
I know you will. That's why I said it.
All right. Well, Fabian, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you going through everything. Overall, if anybody who actually wants to go ahead and buy any of this stuff, you know, maybe go to Warpfire Minis and, I don't know, use our affiliate link that we have, because it doesn't cost you anything extra, but does give us a little bit of kickback that helps to pay for the editor for these lovely episodes.
He needs
so remember,
to eat, guys. Be nice. Help him.
He does. He needs to eat, and he needs to keep buying Age of Sigmar models because that's what he likes. There's some new IDK models coming out that he wants, so we need to help him. So use our affiliate link, join our Discord, come talk to us. Fabian's on Discord, complain about Imperial's Children to him, talk about Renegade Raiders, you know, all these things he's interested in. Come join the Discord and talk to us. We have a Patreon, you know, join the Patreon if you got a couple extra bucks you want to throw our way. Again, helps pay the editor, lets him eat, lets him play with plastic models, and keeps his hope alive for Silksong to actually come out someday eventually, because that's what his current hype is. But join the Discord, talk to us, email us, openplaypodcast@gmail.com. Other than that, folks, thanks for listening, and hope everybody has a good week or two. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
See you next time.